Hi, I'm Becky and welcome to another episode of Diet Culture Can Fork Off. So I help women over 30 that are stuck in diet cycles create that food freedom and feel confident in their bodies. And that's by breaking down diet culture's hold without focusing on scales and missing out on living. And that's all through my one-to-one empower coaching or my Misfit group coaching. Cannot speak. So today I want to talk to you more about my mission. Well, it's more than a mission. It's a movement. It's a movement, and I talk about this so much on my socials and in this podcast. And that is breaking diet culture. So if you've ever felt like it's your fault, you're the problem, like you don't have enough willpower, you don't have enough discipline or motivation, I just want you to pause for a second, because this episode is existing for that one reason. Because I want to tell you that it was never you, okay? It was never you, because diet culture has been part of our, it's been there for generations, okay? It's been shoved down our throats, telling us, as women as well, especially women, how we should conform, these body ideals, these beauty standards that has been imposed on us for years and years and years. And that's where diet culture comes from, and that's why it exists, telling us that in order to fit this narrative, to fit, the beauty standard, that we need to shrink ourselves and be thin. So because of that, and because that has been part of society for so long, it is why so many of us struggle with food and our bodies, and it feels like a constant battle, always thinking about what you should eat, what you shouldn't eat, what you need to burn off, what you need to fix, what you need to change. And it's exhausting. It takes up so much energy and so much headspace. So this podcast today isn't about another way to diet. As you know, that's definitely not what I'm about. It's not about hacks, it's not about rules, and it's not chasing a smaller version of yourself either. This is about breaking diet culture, and this is what I stand for, and this is what I'm all about. And yes, I mean breaking it, not just doing better, breaking it, right? We're here, I've got you, we're going to do this together. Because diet culture, as I mentioned, has taught us that our bodies are something a problem to solve, if that makes sense. That we need to change, that we need to figure out how do I make myself smaller. We get taught that I'll feel confident when I'm smaller, the confidence comes after weight loss, or that health only looks one way, and that's fitting into that skinny ideal. And that if we're struggling to get there, it must be because we're not good enough. And I bought into this for years. I did these things. I thought that's what's going to make me happy. I restricted, I over-exercised. I tried to control my body into behaving in the way that I wanted it to. And that meant trying to meet this thin ideal. And it's something I struggled with for years and years and years. Stuck in this cycle of thinking, I need to be good. I need to be good. I need to not eat the things. I need to not eat, stay away from sugar, stay away from carbs, stay away from all those bad foods, And then I over-exercised, but then obviously I wanted some chocolate or a piece of cake or something, and then it made me think, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't stick to it. I can't. Therefore, that's why I'm failing. I don't have the discipline. I don't have the willpower. But it's absolute bullshit. It's just this stuff that's been shoved down our throats since the beginning. For so much as I can remember, and generations before. Remember this ideal. And it's why I'm so passionate about helping people break diet culture, and why I bang on about it all the time, because that is what I stand for. This is the mission I'm on. I'm taking you with me. So and I have to say, from the outside, it probably looked like I was doing all the right things. I was exercising and I was watching what I ate or whatever that. But inside, how I felt inside, I was anxious, I was disconnected, I was exhausted, and I was constantly comparing myself to others, second guessing myself. And that's not very good in the mental head. Like, it's not very good for your mental headspace at all. And this is why I always talk about physical and mental well-being and physical and mental health, because that is overall what I'm about. Because of my own journey with this, I realised that you can't just work on the physical aspect, you have to work on the mental. Like, the mindset is the missing link for a lot of people. But what finally hit me, and what kind of made it click, was I was like, if being skinny was the goal, then why am I so unhappy and always feeling like I'm not good enough? Like, that is not a good place to be. And it makes you not show up as yourself. It makes you lose your sparkle. And I realised that I was chasing this, and all it was doing was making me more unhappy and more miserable. So I think when it comes as well to, like, when I talk about, like, I don't teach my clients how to diet, it's all about breaking this diet culture. There's a misconception it means just giving up, or like it doesn't mean that you stop caring about your health. Like, actually, like, I want to be really clear on that, because as a coach, health is my number one priority for people. Not dieting yourself into oblivion. Like, we're talking about, like, physical and mental health is my priority for the people that I help. And that gets overlooked by, sometimes people think, well, skinny equals healthier. That's what diet culture taught us, but it doesn't mean that. I know firsthand that doesn't mean that. Like, I was very thin, very skinny at one point. I wasn't healthy, not just physically, but mentally, and I think that's what we forget, and that's what we lose. So what this is, like, this isn't about giving up, and it's not about losing control, and it's definitely not about letting yourself go. It's about stepping out of that punishment and treating yourself, treating yourself like shit, basically. Instead of doing that, we're stepping out of that and into support, okay? Because it's about learning how to eat, how to move and live in a way that actually fits your life and actually enhances your life. Makes it feel better, that you've got that sparkle about you, you feel good. Like, it's about, like, learning how to manage your stress, your work, relationships, your energy, and your time as well, because they all play a part in your overall well-being. Because health isn't like that, like, only works when, like, life is perfect as well. Like, it's not that, like, what am I trying to say? Start again. I'm too excited and getting my words jumbled. So health health doesn't only work when life is perfect. There we go, got it out. Like, health is something you need to be able to do in the messy busyness of life. Because let's be honest here, in your adult life, when have you not been busy? And I know people always say, like, I'm too, like, busy, I haven't got time to prioritise myself. And I think, again, diet culture comes in and it tells us that we need to be doing this amount of exercise for this amount of time. I need to be eating this. And of course, that's overwhelming when you're already stretched for time. What is the beauty is figuring out the way that works for you and your lifestyle. And that can look different for every single person, because everyone's different. Everyone's got different responsibilities, different lives, different stresses. And when you understand that and how to work around them, that is the key that really, really helps. Like, I've worked with people in their busiest times, and they joined up with me in their busiest times for this exact reason, because they were like, if I can learn to manage the stress, if I can learn to manage my time, learn to manage my energy, then I've got this, and I can do it easy breezy when it's a bit calmer. Because, like I said, it's always going to be busy in different ways. But how you learn how to deal with that and what works for you, everything changes. So no, diet culture, don't listen to it. So there's no right way, wrong way. It's what works for you, okay? And I think that's a big thing as well. Like, everyone thinks there's a right way of doing things, a wrong way of doing things. But actually, what works for you as an individual. Because, like I mentioned this before, but I coach the whole person. And when I say I coach the whole person, that means your work, your job, your responsibilities, like what you have going on in your day-to-day, that makes you as a whole. Like, you can't just say, like, well, here's a meal plan and here's a exercise routine, we're not taking into consideration someone's lifestyle. I don't do meal plans, by the way, either, because I find them quite restrictive, and it leads back into that diet culture. Anyway, I've got much better ways to do it. when women do come to me, they're usually very they're tired of starting again. Like, they feel like they've gone round and round in these cycles. They're really tired of feeling really out of control with food, like going through like, I'm good 1 week, I can stick it for like 3, and then I give up because something happened, an event happened, whatever it may be. So really tired of doing everything right, and then it all feels wrong, or feels like something's wrong at the same time. Mostly tired of putting themselves last as well, and then telling themselves that they don't have time because they're not prioritizing themselves. So what changes, and this is big change, is like, it's definitely not just like, what's on their plate, for example. The biggest thing is when we start breaking diet culture is they stop spiraling after social events. They stop pressing the fuck it button every weekend. They train because it feels good for themselves, not because they're punishing themselves and trying to burn off calories. They trust themselves again, which is a big one. Trusting your body, trusting yourself, knowing that you're not losing control because you're not tracking every single morsel. Learning to trust your body, like listening to the signals of your body, listening to what it needs, understanding your emotions, understanding those feelings, and also they don't ever feel like they're on a diet as well. And these are the things that happen when you break diet culture. We got told to ignore feelings of like our bodies, like, ignore hunger, it's weakness. Ignore the tiredness, ignore the exhaustion, just push through that workout. So when you start being able to trust your body again, listen to your body, it makes such a massive impact. And this is all the stuff that helps build up confidence as well, because that is the biggest thing for me. When I see this confidence shine through, it's incredible. Like that sparkle coming back to someone, and I see it. That's why I get to do such an amazing job. Like, I get to see people getting their sparkle back, and I get so excited. I'm like on the calls going like, oh my God, look how much more confident you are. Do you remember when you first spoke to me? And look at you now. Like, honestly, it makes my day. I absolutely love having those conversations. I'm so lucky to be part of that. I'm so grateful for it, because the biggest understanding here is they get that sparkle back. They stop doing those things that I mentioned, not because they're perfect and not because they're doing everything right or anything. It's because they're no longer at war with themselves and no longer at war with their body. And this is exactly how it shows up in my coaching, as I mentioned, because we work on mindset a lot, because that is the missing link for a lot of people. I always say, like, you can't out diet a poor relationship with food, and you can't out exercise a poor relationship with your body. You need to change the mindset behind it. Like, you can't just do a diet and think this time it will be different. You can't just, go like, I just need to get better at exercise. If you're talking to yourself like negatively, if you've got a poor relationship with your body, poor relationship with food, if you're not doing that mindset work behind it, you're always going to be stuck in that cycle. And I want to be real with you in that there, because this is what, like, from my own journey and from my own experience, that's what I learned. And I spent years just thinking, I just need to restrict more. I just need to diet better. I just need to do more exercise. And actually, what I needed was to work on the relationship with myself. And that's where a lot of us get stuck. Like I said, being there myself, and I see it happen so many times. But this is why diet culture can fork off, because that's what it taught us. And this is why I'm on the mission to break it. Because if we build strength, because like, if we build strength in people, they can feel like capable. And that's physically and mentally. Can't get my words out today. I'm always a bit like this, sorry. It's just how I am. Imperfectly me. Anyway, so that's why it's like building strength both physically and mentally, because that as a woman will make you feel so capable. You'll be ready to take on the world. We focus on like nourishment as well instead of restriction. Like I said, my clients always say they don't feel like they're on a diet, which means the world to me. That's the last thing I want you to feel. But it doesn't mean like you're losing control. It means you understand the foundations of nutrition and what works for you. Because guilt was never the solution. Being stuck in these restrictive cycles, thinking you couldn't eat certain foods and then spiraling when you did, doesn't help. It just adds to that mental pressure and feeling miserable, because there's no shame-based motivation here. That's not what I do. Like, we don't like obsess with numbers. Like, my clients don't even weigh themselves. I'm like, if you want to, you can. There's no pressure from me. We're not focusing on numbers. We're not like earning food. There is no judgment from me. You know, like, I was having a discussion with one of my clients the other day, and I said about she was nervous about food journaling, but it came down to she was worried about, she's like, well, what if I have like 6 cookies and I put them on the food journal? And I'm like, well, that's fine. We'll like look at the context, we'll see what happened that day. There's no judgment from me, because, you know, there's going to be some days maybe there was an emotional thing that happened. You know, we'll work out what was the reasons behind it. Sometimes we want the food, and that's okay, but it's understanding why. As I said, it's not happening every day. Like, sometimes it's okay. There's no, like, we put too much pressure on ourselves with these things. But anyway, that's the kind of like, there's no judgment. When you can remove the shame and the judgment, and that's what I aim to do, removing the shame and the judgment. So that's why I don't judge anything that I can't do. I meet it with understanding and empathy. You're going to start removing that shame and judgment towards yourself. And that is absolutely key. Why would I make you feel guilty about certain foods when we're trying to remove the guilt? You know, that's how this all works. But this is exactly why I call this a movement, because diet culture didn't just affect us individually. It shaped generations of women. You know, if you think about your parents, maybe your grandmother, it shaped so many of them, feeling like they always had to be on a diet, make themselves smaller. And, that feeling smaller, quieter, less worthy. So when you break free from that, you don't just change your body image, you change how you show up in your life. You stop waiting to be happy. You stop going once I get to that body size, that's dress size, once I start getting to that scale weight, then I'll be happy. You stop waiting for that, because you're never going to be happy if you keep waiting. You're never going to be happy if you keep waiting for that moment, because that means the goalposts will keep moving. You'll get there and then you're like, well, maybe I just need a little bit more, and then I'll be happy. Because you need to find that love within yourself before you feel, before you can actually just accept who you are. And my clients do see changes in their body, but that's, I don't promote that, because it's not what I'm about. We want to get your health first. Your mind and body health in a good spot, because I want you to stop hiding and stop believing that it's your fault. So if any part of this episode you felt like I was talking directly to you, I want you to know that like I said, there's nothing wrong with you. This is like what diet culture has brainwashed us into thinking. And if you do need that more support, clarity with a different framework, so many women tell me that they've tried everything, all the diets, all the keto or whatever other diets there are out there, Slimming World, awesome apps or different programs. But generally the one thing that's missing is that one-to-one support from a coach. Someone that can actually provide you with the resources you need, the individual support, someone that actually gets you as well. So if you do want to explore coaching with me, there's more information on the link below this episode. No pressure, but please explore it if it's something you're open to. It's just an option if you're ready to stop fighting yourself and start feeling at home in your body again. Get that sparkle back. That's what I'm all about. I'll see you on the next episode.